to talk about you yesterday. Now you get to do the talking. How are you feeling going into day two?
You know what? I'm feeling way better being on this side. I could tell you that. Yesterday was a rough showing for the old coaster, unfortunately. But now I'm on the mic, so now I get to critique the other players doing stuff, and especially Void. I heard some of the stuff he was saying about me, and I can't wait to see him go 0-2 today. That's going to be a lot of fun watching him lose now.
The Purple Sharpie, it's been so fun watching these two go back at it, but obviously putting on a great tournament today. And today gets even more exciting for everyone watching at home.
I'm incredibly excited. A lot of these players inside of this specific bracket, I know personally, not just from commentating EVO 2022, but also just through the general stint of the Multiverses beta. So I'm incredibly excited to see all of these up and coming pros show their stuff today.
Yeah, if you're interested in Multiverses knowledge, well, these two have got you covered. Coney already got the tier list out. The Purple Sharpie's been there from the very beginning at the highest level, so it's going to be exciting stuff today. But let's talk about how it's going to work as we get into our format. And Sharpie, this is a great time for you to walk the viewers through how day two will be a little bit different from day one.
Of course, for everybody following along at home who tuned into day one, thank you so much for coming back. Today we are running what's known as a double elimination bracket. There are 16 players in total for 2-man teams, but what that means is that this time, when our teams lose, they get a second chance to play again. We will not be seeding them through individual round robin setup sets. They'll basically be seeded randomly, and it's going to be best of 3 matches all the way up until the upper finals, lower finals, and grand finals, which will be best of 5. In this specific mode, we're looking at 4 ring outs, a total of 7-minute times. Stage hazards and general hazards will all be on. We're going to be running the same stages as yesterday. That means Batcave, Cromulons, Trophy's Edge, and both versions of Sky Arena are legal. No duplicate characters are allowed on team, and as always, run whatever perks you want. We're here for it.
It's a super important part of the game. We'll see that dove into a little bit later on as you two talk about it. But perks aside, let's talk about the perks of doing well today, Coney. A lot of prize pool on the line.
Yeah, we have 15K yesterday and today as well. First place taking home $2,500 a piece. It's a cool sum, going all the way down to $750 between both players. That's the $375 a piece. One of the things I want to mention is, remember, one of the teams from yesterday actually qualified into today. That was the one with Palm and his teammate. And what we're going to see is they're taking home, at least, even if they lose here, they're both taking home an extra $375 each. That's great.
I love the way that you set that up, because we do have 7 invited teams here in this list, but the 8th, it was what day one was all about, that grueling gauntlet that they all had to face through. 16 competitors, 8 different teams going at it in single elimination, and then finding a way for Palm and Hank to get it. You can see in the top right corner, they are representing from our open bracket style, but all the rest, they have been invited and they have been practicing with 2 days of prep ready to go. Sharpie, who you got your eye on?
I'm definitely watching Bugsies, Key Wonder, as well as Legendary Pred, K7, Mirrorman, Kosalix, and Broski and Oopsteer. These are all teams that ultimately competed and played at EVO. There is one very important contingency I do want to note here. Legendary Pred was subbed out for Sonic Fox, who also originally competed inside of the tournament. While Sonic Fox may not be here in the tournament today, they are there in spirit, and I'm so thankful for them making an appearance this Twitch Rivals, as always. But those are the teams I'm kind of looking at. Have to ultimately give my favorite, of course, to Legendary Pred and K7. Pred is a very well-known fighting game player, originally competed inside of Dragon Ball FighterZ, and K7 is one of the best Batmans on this side of the Prime Meridian.
All right, well, I want to get your thoughts too, Coney, but let's do that in just a second before we jump into the games, which are happening very, very soon. Because, chat, it is time for Guessing with Duncan, where you have a chance to win big. Check out the polling widget in the extension and make your predictions and watch your name shoot up the leaderboard. Our top 10 finishers get $10 Duncan and Twitch gift cards, and the first place winner claims a sweet Duncan sling bag. Enter !Duncan for the full rules. You can go ahead and cast your prediction now. All right, coming back to it, Coney, I do want to get your thoughts as well. I mean, looking at the lobby we've got of competitors, you know, names jump out to me. I mean, Mango, you know, a legend in the games that we know him from, Platform Fighters. I mean, but who do you think has I guess, the advantage here going into our double elimination sets?
You know, the team I've really got my eye out on and that I'm going to be looking for is actually going to be Broskies and Oops tier. Maybe this is a bit more personal reason, but Broskies was actually a top Velma player in the early versions of Multiverses, as was I. Loved Velma to death. Unfortunately, she's just not the same as she used to be, and I want to see how Broskies adapts, what characters he's trying out now. Oops tier, probably going to be sticking with the Superman, one of the best Superman players, if not the best in the past. Hasn't changed too much in terms of how he functions, just kind of with the game mechanics, but they're the team I'm going to want to see. And also, like you said, Mango, I mean, the GOAT, right? Guy's been a legend in my home scene of Smash Brothers at large forever. Going to see how he does teaming with Joey today.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, too. A few banana guards I saw getting prepped up. Character that a lot of people are starting to get familiar with, realize the instant value, the spacing. We'll see how that fares. Who do you guys think in chat as well is going to take #1 spot? Because not only, like you mentioned, Sharpie, will they be having a chance to have these knockout matchups right away, but we're going to finally see what happens when you lose and you readjust and maybe make that run through the lower bracket. That is all in store today. But as we get ready for our very first game, we want to get not just into the game, but into the headspace of some of our competitors, which means we have a chance to talk to the other headliner for this Multiverses tournament, Void. He is standing by and ready to go. I think we got to talk to him because, you know, he did a lot of talking yesterday. Void, it's great to see you. Now you're competing. And I just got to say, good luck. But also, I feel like maybe you held back a few of the things that you were going to be putting to the test today. Was that just a strategy to kind of not let people know how you were going to approach the competition, or you still figure things out like everybody else?
No, I mean, I think I held some stuff back on the mic, mainly because I just think it's really funny. But I want to see how people feel like, oh, maybe I can get an edge here. Oh, let's listen to Void. And then I'm like, oh, what if I didn't? So I just think it's funny. I think ultimately I will be about on the same playing field as everybody else going into this.
Now, I know that we were playing a little bit last night, and you were popping the Black Adam, a lot of Black Adam. I watched you play just now, and a lot of Black Adam. Is he a character that I know that you think is a week 1 threat, is something that you were saying? Is he something you think has kind of long-term potential, like top-level potential, or is it just like, all right, this is going to work now, nobody's ready for this stuff? Because he feels kind of, let's say, explosive, and I don't know how that's going to work long-term, you know?
I think he is pretty explosive, and it does feel like, you know, if you don't get your opportunities, it kind of sucks. But the counteracting to that is he has a very good disadvantage, probably the best disadvantage in the entire game, in my opinion, just because up B is so strong. So I think he has longevity, but I don't think he works with every team because he's a very strong vertical character. If you have like people who can pop up just really easily, it works really nicely. But today, for example, I'm going to be playing with Ross, and he's playing Banana Guard. And Banana Guard is a lot more of a horizontal guy.
Very horizontal.
When we were playing Banana Guard Adam, and I was like, this feels a little hard. It doesn't feel like natural. But Tom and Jerry is a lot more of a horizontal guy. He just controls a lot of horizontal space. So I'm going to be playing Tom and Jerry today, but I think Black Adam overall, even outside of week 1, I think he's going to be really good.
There are a lot of new mechanics inside of the game now, Void. Obviously, we have dashing, we have parries, we have some brand new tech that allows people to now use air moves like super close to the ground. Do you feel like Tom has kind of been better because of a lot of these new mechanic updates?
I think so. There's a few things that I've been realizing that are pretty dang strong. I found a very, very great use of the grounded aerials. That I won't say because if my opponents know, they got it. They were watching.
We'll see it in tournament.
I'll definitely hit it. I think it's an amazing usage. And then trying to find out like specific ways to keep moving because like Tom doing like a dodge attack with his downer, you think downer is like the move to do. It's really not. You don't move anywhere. So trying to find out different ways to use the momentum that you gain from I guess like the new versions of this. Has, in my opinion, I feel faster with Tom than I do like sometimes with Black Adam. And Black Adam has very good air mobility. He can cover space really well, but Black Adam doesn't use the new systems as well as Tom does. So I think Tom is benefiting from the new engine a lot. Not as much as like some characters might, but it's still a big plus for him.
Well, Void, I know you're keeping things close to the chest, but eventually it will all come out because we'll be watching basically every game that you do. So it will not be a secret for too long. But good luck in the interim, and send our best to Ross as well as you guys compete today for the grand prize.
For sure. Thank you.
All right, GSM Void, part of the headliner with Coney there. Coney, Void, he's seeming like, I don't know, he feels pretty good. The way I'm looking at it, he seems like things are going to go well for him today. Now you get to be on the mic and talk about Void. So, I mean, what do you got to say after that interview looking at that?
I mean, he's a confident guy, and I think he's going to be in a good spot. Ross, his teammate, is somebody who might not have the most, kind of star pull that you would expect from a teammate of Void's, but Ross is a very proficient player. I believe a Young Link player in Smash Ultimate, and has always been there kind of on the side, playing the top level and keeping up with them. So I'm really excited to see what Banana Guard does today, because that character is absurd. I got to give a shout out to J Mafia, my boy, fellow dad. He actually won a singles tournament yesterday with Banana Guard, beating a lot of top players, including some people that are also in this bracket with straight Banana Guard. That character is insane. Can't wait to see how he performs today. Yeah, that character it's a joke character, but not really. He's nuts. He's nuts.
I cannot wait to see it. We're going to have so much time to talk about these characters and get into the action. If you're watching now, it is about to go down. But, chat, while you're waiting to watch more of this gameplay coming at you, our friends at Honda want to give you a chance to play right in chat. As a team, see how quickly you can navigate the Honda Prologue SUV through a maze. Now, you must collect the Twitch Rivals V and then find your way out of the other side before the timer expires. Remember, chat, you got to work together. So have fun and good luck. Our friends at Honda are here to empower you, chat. Honda's bringing you closer to the show than ever before with the Charged Up Chat feature. The best creative commentary from chat and social media will be featured on the show. So join the conversation in chat, send us your best memes, or fire one-liners on social media. Find us at Twitch Rivals or use hashtag Charged Up Chat, and you might see your comments featured live on this show. Honda offers a full line of clean, safe, fun, and connected vehicles. Their all-new fully electric 2024 Prologue SUV features a timeless exterior, a tech-rich cabin, and a generous passenger and cargo space. The Prologue is the perfect vehicle for weekend getaways and everyday drivers. Thanks again to Honda for helping sponsor this event. We love our partners and we love working with them. As we get into it, the start of it is about to go down, guys. So I want to give it to you, Sharpie, as to what you're looking for. We talked a little bit in the break about perks, some of the things you're going to be keeping an eye on for what these players are using.
Definitely. Yesterday, something that we saw a lot of the players utilize inside of this game was armor. It got people like, I believe it was Juggleman or Jumpman and Cat very, very far by using and abusing Superman's armor, and specifically Joker's armor break. Inside of here, there's actually a perk that allows you to break armor for a total of 5 seconds. And I think Coney can speak a little bit more intelligently about why armor stacking matters and why this perk is very important in high level play.
Well, it's super good because a lot of the characters that you're going to see at high level, especially Wonder Woman, probably considered, widely considered to be one of the best, if not the best character in the game, gives her and her partner armor very quickly and with pretty low cooldown. So if you're able to just nullify that, it's great. And honestly, I think just exploring the perk system at all is going to give a leg up to certain players. I mean, I was talking with Void last night. We were running duos, and we were talking about the perks. We hadn't explored it much at all. Most players, I think, just go for, hey, more damage, more kills. That's what you want. But there are so many things to sort of diversify your gameplay. I remember in the early beta of Multiverses, there's a perk for an extra jump, and everybody's taking that. Meanwhile, now it's a little bit more different. Obviously, if you're running a team that against a team with a lot of armor, you're going to want to take that. Maybe there's a Jake that's giving his teammate armor by doing the eat move. There's a lot of different sort of nuances to a matchup. I'm interested to see how, as the tournament progresses, as we get deeper into the bracket, how responsive people are to other teams' game plans, if at all. Maybe they just keep running the general set with the 5% damage boost. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, this is something now we have an opportunity to really look at, Sharpie, because of the fact that yesterday it was single elimination. So you tried your best, you brought your best team, your best game plan. If it didn't work, you're basically out. There's nothing to do again. But now you'll get sent to lowers. If you end up facing that team yet again, you have a chance to make an adjustment. How big will that be to incentivize and also, I guess, give credit to the smarter players or the more adaptable players versus just the players who are coming in maybe with a little bit more experience or technical skill?
It's huge. Ultimately, you have to remember first place gets a total of $5,000. That's $2,500 a piece. That's basically how much it costs to drink water in Silicon Valley. It's very expensive, okay? So the difference between first and second place is a couple of thousand, but the difference between first and fourth is significant. Inside of the lower part of the bracket, these adaptations players are going to have to make is going to be significantly deeper than just perks. It's going to be gameplay. It's going to be characters. And with a huge roster, such as Multiverses has, you have a lot of counter pick options inside of this game range.
Coney, I wanted to, as off of Sharpie's point as well, talking about counter picks and just picks in general, you had the time to put together kind of that rudimentary play tier list for people who watch your channel and are watching you on stream. Talk to me a little bit about what you uncovered through that process, because I did enjoy watching it, but also I kind of enjoyed the way that you broke down the quadrants within which characters fit. So break that down a little bit for people who may not be familiar and kind of what you've learned with just a day and a half of this game being out.
Well, sure. I could tell you straight up that tier list that I made completely wrong already.
Let's go.
That's how the hot take game
part
works.
of it, though, right?
That's
Coney?
part
I mean,
of it. That's how the tier list works. So the tier list that I made was specifically based on the beta, in which Velma was a character and Morty was fun. Unfortunately, things have changed quite a bit since then, and it just goes to show how much things can change. I mean, Jake, I think before was sort of the premier, just kind of throw out the buttons, constant moving hitbox guy. Very simple, very effective. Now he's kind of outshone ironically by Banana Guard, who is just a constant moving hitbox. So what I always look for when it comes to a game, for me specifically, is how much do they shine in their role and how easy are they to play. And if you could get somebody in the top right that's easy to play and is very good in their role, then I think that's a winning combination. I think it right there right now, obviously Harley, everybody's on Harley.
Yeah.
I'm not as much of a Harley believer. I think she's just kind of Bugs Jr. I think she does a lot of things. She's a lot slipperier than Bugs. Like she can be way more evasive, but I think Bugs just kind of has more answers for more situations. But there are a few characters that are real standouts, and maybe we'll find some new ones after today.
I love it. I love it. This is exciting. That's a great appetizer for the main course, which is about to start here, which is the gameplay coming up. We are starting off and getting into our Multiverses Day 2. It means that teams are going to be advancing into those winners. Those upper brackets are being sent to the lowers. Let's find out as we've got our first matchup here. So Sharpie, Tony, take it away.
So already we have Cosmo versus Sandstorm. Cosmo is going to be on their standard, it looks like Harley play here, and of course Mirror Man on Bugs. Of course, Kosalix on Joker, and Sandstorm is actually playing Wonder Woman. Pretty standard team for them.
Yeah, Sandstorm's been on Wonder Woman forever, was one of the premier Wonder Woman. He actually won a tournament way back in beta. A top Brawlhalla player has made an absurd amount of prize money off of Brawlhalla and things like this. It's been a phenom in multiple, however, getting wiped out by Mirror Man, and then responds with a double dare of his own. Well done, Sandstorm, turning the tide.
Really good turn there by Wonder Woman. At a really high percentage, immediately gets knocked out by Mirror Man. And I just want to call attention here to Mirror Man's awareness. This Bugs is playing very similar to how I see Harley's play right now. Just jumping around and following up on things, not necessarily using as many ranged projectiles. I mean, obviously, right now. But previously inside this match, that's not what we saw. We saw a very, very aggressive up and close Bugs. Not as popular inside of frequent play.
Honestly, Bugs can really do it all. He's so versatile. He can kind of sit back with the projectiles, or he can shoot the projectiles and kind of follow them up. And Mirror Man, a master of the craft, one of the best Bugs players there's been. Obviously, second at Evo last year whenever it happened.
2022.
That's what it was. 2022. Yeah. And we see how it's turning out. However, see them get that final KO. Sandstorm stuck on the side.
Right there.
And there's that Joker card from Kosalix. You saw the card. It catches people off guard so often because people don't know about that third exploding one. It really has not had time to sort of gestate in the minds of players.
Joker, a very popular character, and now we move over to Void and Ross, FGC. Void on very common Tom and Jerry, as he stated before, and it looks like we do have Banana Guard for Ross. On the opposite team, we have Bugsy with Key Wonder. Actually looks like Bugsy is not opting to use their famous Harley. They're actually going with Gizmo, and we have Key Wonder, as always, on Wonder Woman here.
I gotta be honest, I think Gizmo is one of the best characters in the game right now.
I'm gonna need you to expand, sir.
I think he's phenomenal. He's one of the best supporting characters. He can follow up on anything. He is nearly impossible to KO if he's able to just sort of stay out of stuff. And look at the way he's just hung on to Wonder Woman. Right now, he's just sitting on Key Wonder's back, unable to be KO'd. Has the Umbrella move, which is a sick KO option. I just think Gizmo is so evasive that if Bugsy just see, and there we go again, just sitting on top of Wonder Woman, popping the keyboard, he's going to be completely safe from knockouts for a little while.
I see.
It's great if you can trust your teammate, and I think Key Wonder has clearly shown they're capable of that trust.
I want to talk a little bit more about this Banana Guard here. We talked about it inside of the pre-interview for these matches, but you're seeing it right now. Banana Guard is a horizontal beast. He just goes in there, especially on a stage like Sky Arena, no platforms. You have nothing but space and nothing but time to rush them out from the sides, not necessarily from the ceiling or from the lower blast zone, but definitely the left and right blast zones. And I think that's where Banana Guard specifically excels. Like, you can see it just from the last two knockout opportunities and from these situations that Ross is trying to fish for right here, just looking for a chance to rush straight in with the spear and knock him off.
One of the issues, though, about Banana Guard specifically here is that if Green Team, if Key Wonder and Gizmo actually just sit in the center, it's way harder for Banana Guard to get that KO. Obviously, he's going to excel here, but they're just going to power through with the armor, go to the side, able to get that side special. It's looking bad for Gizmo at 129. They've got to find their way back, but Jerry is able to snipe out the Wonder Woman on the side. They're going to take that game.
Do you think they practiced that round in there where they're just standing inside of each other like that?
I wouldn't
Like
be
it's like a
surprised.
Jerry underneath a banana peel?
Yeah.
Very next match, we have Pred and K7 versus Broski and Oopsteer. Coney, I'm gonna allow you to take this because I know that you're personally a fan of Team Broski here.
I am, and I'm surprised we're seeing the Shaggy on this one. I think Superman would be a little immobile, maybe just kind of get beat up by Batman. You can see that Shaggy kick once again onto the Wonder Woman. It's down to last stock, as it so often is in these games now. You can see Broski's at 91% on Steven. Oopsteer getting double teamed on the Shaggy. It's going to take one more hit, and that'll do it. Well done to K7.
Really good by K7 there, but you can't take one of the best Batman to his stage and not expect him to come out on top. Very next match is Cosmo and Sandstorm versus Mirror Man and Koslix. Looks like we're back at Sky Arena for this specific match. We do not have any changes for the team here. Looks pretty cut and dry. Honestly, we're seeing a lot of Jokers inside of these matches so far, Coney.
Yeah, Joker's been pretty popular. I haven't really seen the secret sauce. Like, he feels okay, but I haven't seen what makes him special. I really think that exploding card might be the X factor on this because it is such a reliable KO option from so safe. You can see Mirror Man actually edge guarding 2 at once, and this one might be a done deal. All they really need is one more hit on Sandstorm. They're gonna find it. Mirror Man and Cosmix winning 2-0.
On the point with Joker, I will say that his cards have definitely been the reason why I've seen him selected so much at a high level, but at a significantly lower level. I really think it ultimately comes down to that crowbar basically being one of the best, easiest finishers to do inside of this move. It kills at basically 70% as long as you're near a blast zone. And that is something that I think a lot of characters kind of struggle with outside of assassins, truthfully. Looking at a mage like that, someone that's just easily able to cast a bunch of special spells, like he's a pretty good all-arounder at all levels, and I think that's what we're seeing with all these picks. This is our very first time seeing our qualifying team from day one, Hanky and Palm versus the Smash God, Mango and Lucky here.
You can see Mango on Banana Guard. He was so excited for this character. He's already got the big banana persona. He's ready to go. And I mean, it's such, Banana Guard is so fun to play despite being so simple. It's really funny how common it is. I've seen Smash players specifically say they love Banana Guard despite him being such a simple, rudimentary character. I think it's because he's that simple in a game with so many characters like Marvin, like Rick, like Morty, with all these different movesets and changes. Having a character with that neutral air is just, I don't know, feels like home.
He reminds me a lot of Captain Falcon in Melee. Really, really strong, like good setup neutral options, but ultimately struggles like with one thing, which is his vertical game.
Sure.
And that's kind of what I'm seeing in Banana Guard for those Melee heads out there. I'm really only talking to RVA kids right now. I'm sorry. Shout out to MVBA. But like, look at this already. We have Hank and Palm, 2 knockouts apiece. Mango's team is actually pretty healthy, and Red Team's looking like they're going to need something to keep them inside this match. It's very, very close right now. They're both a knockout apiece. Look at that.
Yeah, you can see there's that Banana Guard charge. Yeah, dead even right now. And what I find the most interesting is when you get into that staggered stock position, maybe one team is down a stock, but it looks like the other team has 2 people at high percent. Looks pretty even right now, but it'd be very easy to go into that position in just a second. We see the Joker at 101. Palm trying to find his way around, trying to land that crucial balloon. But the Banana Guard Spear is going to find its mark. There's the up special. Mango trying to find the KO, but can't find it.
I'm really liking Mango's edge guarding opportunities here, and I'm also really liking the way that Lucky's following up here. Does Mango typically play doubles? I've really only seen him play singles.
You know, I think doubles in Smash in general has kind of been phased out for a lot of tournaments. I mean, it's still at majors for the most part, but not really as much. But this guy has, 15 years of muscle. He knows what he's doing, especially with Lucky, who he's been teaming with forever. They're best friends. Not surprised to see them come out on top. Meanwhile, we're going to shift back over to Void and Ross against Key Wonder and Bugs V. Bugs V still on the Gizmo. Again, I think that character is so strong, but he does have an issue KOing sometimes, and you can see it here with Void on Tom at 157, just assaulting Key Wonder.
It really does feel like when Gizmo and Wonder Woman get separated, that's essentially the enemy team's win condition here. You know, if Gizmo's alone, Gizmo doesn't have some of the strongest like escape factors I would see. And while Wonder Woman's a fantastic tank and even better like buff support, she just doesn't have the like damage that she needs by herself, even though she has amazing attack options to go ahead and rack up those percentages. But you're really looking at like basically a team that requires consistent synergy from what I can tell right now.
You can see right now Void with his KO. Yeah, just a strong combo game. Going to do that very safe standard hammer jab. See Gizmo throwing out the car. Going to hit Tom, but doesn't really do anything unless you jump back into it. Gizmo just trying to sit on Wonder Woman's back because he is at 115, and with how light Gizmo is. Oh, that might do it. Yeah, there it is, the banana guard charge. All I think it took was Ross sitting behind, waiting for Gizmo to detach, and then popping that side special. Well done to Ross and Void taking the set.
I mean,
2-0. Very clean. I don't know how many other 2-0s we received inside of here. It looks like Mirror Man also 2-0 Team Cosmo. This is kind of a vast difference from day one, truthfully, Coney. We didn't see as many shutouts this early inside of the rounds on day one, but it looks like this may be a consistent factor in day two of Twitch Rivals.
Yeah, I wonder how much we're going to see sort of a disparity in terms of the gap between certain teams. I do think Bugsby and Key Wonder are a phenomenal team, and maybe they just rolled into an especially difficult one. I mean, it is Void, you know, Evo champion. Meanwhile, we're back on the other side. Mango and Lucky against Hank and Palm. Hopefully Hank and Palm can take a set. I mean, after winning yesterday, want to see how far they can go. Right now, they're struggling a bit, though, especially after that last game.
Really strong start here from Palm and Hanky. And the thing to remember from yesterday is that Hank and Palm are definitely growers, not showers. They're definitely team members that have done better as they get an opportunity to progress inside of this bracket. It really just becomes a question of will they be able to survive that long. We've already been about 50 seconds without a ring out, and of course, yeah, really nice.
Honestly,
really nice.
The Banana Guard grounded side special beats nearly every horizontal option in the game, including Shaggy. Well done there by Palm getting the KO on Mango with that up strong on Banana Guard. You can see right now at 110, just so evasive, hiding behind Shaggy, even on the cards. They're really trying to get rid of Palm, but he's just so, he's so wily.
Gotta respect that. Yeah, you really gotta respect, ultimately, like what we're really seeing here, I really think, is Hank doing the exact same kind of like strategy that they used yesterday. Go ahead and install, let Palm just go ahead and bounce around, move straight through, and just secure it. As soon as you get that Shaggy install, just come straight in with a dive kick. Why not? Why not?
And you can see Palm just sitting at 144, has not been touched in quite a while. Finally, Banana Guard Spear is going to strike true. There's
they could even up here.
Up. Yeah, could go even in just a second. Another Banana Guard, and now things are tense. There's that staggered stock we were talking about. You can see Lucky at 89%. We'll see if he's got a runaway game.
Whew, they're really trying to get Lucky out of this now that they're at 105 right now. Ultimately, you can even see, not enough. Not enough. Did you actually see what ultimately wrung them out for that final opportunity there, Coney?
Nope, couldn't tell. I saw it too. I was like, I assumed it was an upset, like an upstrong by Shaggy or something, but maybe a card, who knows. But now we've got a swap over here. Oops tier now on the Superman Broskis on Black Adam. A double swap to try to win this round. You can see K7 and Pred on the Batman and Wonder Woman once again. See how this goes.
Really nice. Really strong start here. And also, I agree with this Trophy's Edge version, truthfully. I think the one with the middle, like specifically, doesn't really do great things, specifically for a character like Batman or a character like Black Adam. But I'm really happy. I'm really happy they chose just kind of like a flat stage, moving platforms. That kind of helps both Wonder Woman and Superman. So I agree with this pick, ultimately.
You could
really low ceiling also.
Yeah, and you could see Oops here trying to abuse that. He's trying to pop that up strong on the ground. Does have armor if you just kind of wander into it. Will KO very early, gets the back throw. It's not going to be enough just yet.
Those weakened stacks, they matter. That is an important debuff to think about, especially inside of this game. Batman is one of those, I guess they don't matter that much. Broski ultimately killing before I can explain weakened, but just an important thing to remember. Weakened does stack, and even at one stack, you're taking ridiculous, copious amounts of damage more than you were previously. So you really want to be wary whenever you see that weakened stack on you, back off, and I think that's what they tried to do, but they didn't have to respect it too much. We're back on Mango and Lucky versus versus Hank and Palm. This will be the final round determining who stays on upper side and who moves down to lower.
Geez, you could see Hank just really abusing the Shaggy on that. What he'll do is he'll charge up and he'll wait for his teammate to kind of get shafted on the side, and then he'll run in and try to do his damage. Maybe he'll get that empowered kick. He's just landing it again and again. But we're going to see if Mango and Lucky, I mean, the real strategy is just to double team that Joker as much as possible. And you can see it there, getting the knockout, but Shaggy responding immediately.
You really do have to be careful ultimately when you're leaving your teammate alone inside of these type of games, especially with a Banana Guard. You said it yourself, Coney. He has fantastic. Look at that! Even without a nasty vertical cane, when you're that close to the Blast Guard, when you're installing that close, it's an easy ring out opportunity. And Mango, fantastic read on that one.
You can't go that high. Not against Banana Guard, not against anybody. And I feel like Hank just maybe a little bit too cocky there. You can see blue team running away with it now. We might see a staggered stock situation with Lucky at 100, but I don't think so. Not with how evasive Joker can be. This might be curtains for Hank, and they might be dropping down into the loser's bracket. You can see how Mango just edge guarding the Shaggy on the side. However, big reversal. Oh, I thought he might be able to get that up strong. Not going to happen. He's off on the side. Can Mango make it back? Barely, yes.
Wow. Saved by his own teammate. Hate to see it. Okay, I really do appreciate the Mango strategy here. Ultimately, oh wow.
Oh, this is huge.
Okay, this is really, really big. That was the turnaround they needed. As long as Shaggy stays safe, they are ultimately still inside of this game. They really do have to double team that Lucky wasn't able to do in time. They did end up getting Hank out of there, and Mango and Lucky remain on the upper side of bracket with Hanky and Palm, our qualifiers from day one, ultimately moving down to the lower side. And Coney, what a set. What a set.
You could just see how strong it is to have a horizontal KO option. I mean, we saw it with Banana Guard and we saw it with Shaggy. Just being able to throw out that move on the horizontal distance while your opponents sort of try to track your other partner, it just consistently is such a strong killing setup because they don't have their eyes on you. And especially with how strong both Shaggy and Banana Guard's buffs are, it's not a surprise to see them KOing super early.
For sure.
I mean, still another match to play, guys. And, you know, the thing is, what do you do? If you're Banana Guard, you're dominating the horizontal space, so you go up top, and then somehow Mango finds a way to still KO you up above with Banana Guard. It's a tough situation, kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I think Hank and Palm, although they lose that one, it was a well-fought game. And a lot of these sets, too, it might be 2-0, but we're looking at 8 lives to 6 lives overall when you look at how they performed over this. So Coney, to everyone's credit, people playing very neck and neck here, but it's those clutch little moments, those small mistakes, maybe charging a little too high, allowing somebody to get the edge that's going to make the difference.
There's a lot of tense moments in these games. I mean, somebody goes too high and charges and, you know, gets killed by a 40 at 40 off the top or something. Or somebody is double teaming an opponent and then they both get hit by something on the side. There's a lot of moments like that in multiverses, and that's what keeps things so tense and exciting.
Yeah, anything can happen, Sharpie, and we've been seeing that. We still got one more game to go to round out our quarterfinals, but how has the action been so far in your eyes?
Fantastic. I actually think this final match is actually going to be Pred's team versus the Real Broskis, and this will secure them, the winner of which will remain on upper side and ultimately play against Mirror Man and TF. And I think the thing to remember here is that Broski and Oopster's team has been very volatile. Oopster, a renowned Superman player, some say the best Superman player in North America, is actually, we saw them the very first game on Shaggy, or second game on Shaggy. They've been moving around, and look at this game. We're seeing the Superman return. Fantastic. But we're also seeing a Black Adam come out from his brother Broski this time around, previously Wonder Woman. So a lot of versatility inside this team. K7, Batman as always, and Pred running Wonder Woman. Coney, what's going on this Cromulon stage?
Honestly,
oh my God.
Oh, a lot of action so far. You could see that the speaker actually dropping off on the right-hand side. And unfortunately, I would love to tell you more, but that's going to be all that we see right now. Really wanted to see how that one goes, especially the 4 DC characters. What a mashup. 4 different DC characters, too. Wondering how that one's going to turn out. I guess we'll tune in and have to see later.
I actually want to talk very briefly, if we can, about that specific stage, because this is actually the very first time, or I'm sorry, the second time in this entirety day 2 of Twitch Rivals that we've seen Cromulons, but actually the very first day of today that we're seeing Cromulons. This is a very popular pick inside of competitive play, specifically because it has a very low floor, which is really, really good for characters with a very, very good down air option or a really good spike option, but has a really high ceiling. And those two specific like walls that are basically created there create a secondary blast zone for characters like Harley, like Steven, like Jake, that are all able to utilize that. Even Iron Giant, honestly, after his rework, that allows them to kind of bounce off of these stage opportunities and move into the air. Really good general counter pick stage, especially for a second or third round.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, the rules, you can't go back to a stage, even if you've won it. That if you won on that stage, but you lost the previous game, so you have stage select, you cannot go back to that same stage. So the fact that we are taking it down to the wire with these selections, with these games, means that we get to see our first Crom. And ultimately, I think the lineup was more interesting, and you were starting to talk about that, Coney. I didn't find necessarily the lineup the most interesting part, though. I found that the complete switch of the lineup the most interesting part, between the two brothers going into their pocket a little bit deeper than what we've seen some of these players and teams be able to do. I feel like that's going to pay dividends if they can get past this and move on into the winners, to be able to adjust to a lot of different matchups that they're going to see.
Yeah, I do think it's important to have the versatility to be able to swap. I do think that sometimes players, especially early on in a metagame, multiverses is very different now than it used to be in the beta. It's very easy to kind of psych yourself out, doubt yourself. Well, maybe this isn't going to work now. This might have worked in the past. I'm wondering how much of that was going on. Surprised to see Oopster on anything but Superman. Obviously, Superman ended up getting them the win to put it into Game 3. But I'm interested to see who else is going to have some picks out. Obviously, we talked to Void earlier, who said he's going to be playing mostly Tom for his matchup. But there are very clear sort of characters that don't mix well with other characters. It was happening to me yesterday. I was playing with a Twal in the day one bracket, and I don't know who goes with Stripe. I didn't really have an answer.
Yeah.
Gizmo, definitely not. I was like, let me try Gizmo, because Gizmo is probably my most comfortable character, but that does not work. I can tell you that. So it really does come down to how well the teams can synergize. And I think the best characters are ones that can synergize with anyone. And I think Superman is one of them, and Wonder Woman is another.
Yeah, Sharpie, it seems like we've seen a lot of those staple picks as well. We kind of mentioned there's a comfort value in the Joker. Some of the safe knockout potential of that exploding card gives him some range and allows people to feel comfortable. Banana Guard seems to be the new, if anything, maybe new Wonder Woman for today, because we're seeing a lot of Banana Guard today, maybe less Wonder Woman early on. What is your take on kind of these comfort picks that we're seeing have success so far in the meta? Because we're still seeing these outliers like the Batmans from K7 that are proving valuable. But we're definitely starting to see a little bit more of the tried and true start to take hold here in this tournament.
I think in K7's case, that's just a comfort pick. Sometimes when you know how to sing your ABCs better than everybody else, it really behooves you to keep singing your ABCs instead of learning how to sing Fireworks by Katy Perry. But I do think that there are some characters that we may see as like pocket picks later on inside of here. I specifically want to call out Sandstorm, who we've only seen on Wonder Woman thus far inside of this tournament. I happen to know they have a pocket in Iron Giant. Now, Iron Giant, Coney, I don't need to tell you, that character inside of this new release of Multiverses is dangerous, is nasty, is a problem, And then I also want to showcase Jason. Jason is an amazing tank. It used to be a Steven Universe player. Last night, after watching that bracket, I started labbing Jason.
Wow.
That man is a problem. I understand now why everyone's worried about serial killers, because of Jason and Multiverses. That's the reason why.
Sharpie, I'm just a little surprised you gave up on Steven Universe that fast after talking so positively about him all day yesterday. Guys, we're in the same Twitch rivals or not, it's just over. That's how fast it can happen. I mean, don't get on your bad side, Sharpie. That's all I got to say.
I need W's. I need W's at the end of the day. Okay, I'm a winner. I'm a winner, baby.
It's all about results. It's all about results. I get that as well. As we are waiting for that game to restart, thank you, chat, and everybody who's hanging out with us. We are just getting through our first part of the quarterfinals. The game actually looks like it is about to be ready. So I'll leave it to you two to kick us off here in our final round. The 1-1 winner takes it and moves on in the upper side. Losers goes down to the lower. in our quarterfinals.
I
So it does look
wonder.
like we're-
I was gonna say, I wonder how. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, how important is it that we break the speakers at the beginning? Could cause a lot of problems for certain characters if they're not able to get that down. You kind of get bounced around, especially by Superman. We see the
Yep.
left speaker going down, right one's taking some damage, and staying up for a little bit.
No, K7 immediately identifying those obstacles and hazards as a threat, and Wonder Woman, specifically Pred, immediately going for it. I'm actually really happy we got Pred's point of view, because Pred, I actually think, is an amazing player, not just in platform fighters, not just in traditional fighters, but in fighting games in general. So I'm really happy that we're getting to ultimately see him play inside of this tournament, to be very candid.
Honestly, Batman, I think one of the better characters if he's allowed to do his thing. Thing about Batman is that he is so exceptionally light. He's an offensive powerhouse, one of the strongest, fastest characters in the game, but is very easy to shut down if you get your hands on him just a couple times. This is a large stage, so if he stays away from the sides, he might be okay, especially if he's able to capitalize on his teammate. Throwing out the battering. Oops tier, just got to disengage as much as possible, go to the top. Gonna try to get the KO, but you can see K7 getting up and around, unfortunately getting caught by the Black Adam.
Yeah, see, I really feel like Black Adam is a smart pick, especially coming onto Cromulons, or pairing specifically with Shaggy on a stage like this that's a lot bigger. But I have to say, I'm not a big fan of Black Adam's kill potential. I don't feel like it's as high as I would like to see on a team that has Superman on it. I'd like to see someone with a little bit more damage than I get from Black Adam, a little bit more range. You're just not going to get it from a bruiser. And I think Pred did a great job there, kind of like separating the both of them and singling Superman specifically to go ahead and follow up. So Pred and K7 do move forward on the upper side of bracket, sending Broski and Oopsteer down to lower. I know that hurts Coney, but I'm sure we'll get to see them later.
You know what? I'm validated. I mean, as a fellow Velma enjoyer, I see the other Velma guy, unfortunately, having trouble. Can I get the megaphone back? Are you watching the cat? Can I have my character back, please? Come on, man.
The benefits here is that there's only up from here, right, Coney? Like, you can only get better at this point. Velma can only receive buffs, you would hope, at least in upcoming patches. So I'm sure Velma mains around the world feel your pain. They will be waiting. But she's, still a fun character, just maybe not at the highest of levels, which, of course, is what we care about here in the Coney and Void Multiverses Clash. Day 2, we are getting down into the money. We've seen 4 teams advance into the upper side, and we've seen 4 teams go down into lowers. This is setting up some great drama here, because some of the favorites, they're moving on. Some of the favorites haven't had a great start. We'll see how it all shakes out. But before that, let's take a quick break. Welcome back to the Coney and Void Multiverses Clash. Here we're in day 2. I'm your host Rain Day, joined by Coney himself and the Purple Sharpie as we enter into our upper bracket. Our semifinals here on the winner's side is going to help us determine who's going to be making it into winners finals, and of course who's going to be clawing themselves out of the first part of our single elimination bracket a little bit after that. Sharpie, let's take a look at this bracket because yes, we've got some teams doing well. We've also got some teams that are going to have to pick it up. Otherwise, they're going home.
On upper side, inside of the semifinals, we do have Mirrorman and Kosalix versus Legendary Pred and K7. That's going to be a match to watch. Mirrorman and Kosalix, both EVO champions, up in the top 50 side. K7, renowned Batman player. Pred, absolutely amazing Wonder Woman, fantastic fundamentals, great overall player. We also have Void and Ross on the winner side, and they'll be playing against the Smash God themselves, Mango and Lucky on the upper side of this bracket.
Amazing stuff. And as hopefully we take a look at the lower side as well, you can infer it from the teams that aren't highlighted in purple. But as we show you right here, this is the do or die moment, Coney. These teams got to win to keep on going, but if not, that'll be the end of their tournament.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Bugs does, because Bugs is a very potent Harley, has played a bunch of different characters, plays Joker as well. Wondering if he's going to swap it up at all, or maybe just stick to the Gizmo. I got a vibe that the Gizmo Wonder Woman was kind of like a theory crafting thing. Maybe we're going to swap it out. He's got deep pockets. The guy's been a pro in a lot of different games, including MVS in the past, so we'll see how it goes. Meanwhile, on the other side, we got Cosmos, who I know was labbing Batman the other night in a stream with Void, so might see the Batman instead, along with Sandstorm, but I don't know. Now things get desperate in the lower bracket. Anything can happen.
Anything absolutely can happen. It's about strategy and adjustments, and you talk about multiple different games, competitors. Bugsy, with that Gizmo, it was interesting to see. I actually commentated Bugsy in Vegas. He won a $50,000 Fortnite tournament.
Jeez!
And so, he definitely knows how to win, to pull out the stops. I mean, these lower bracket games, they're going to be good, Sharpie. There's going to be action all around.
I always really enjoy talking specifically about Bugsy because Bugsy is one of those characters. I shouldn't say characters. Bugsy is a person, first and foremost. And Bugsy is an amazing person and player. He streams all the time, runs the Multiverses Pro Discord, which is one of the largest Discords on all of Multiverses with over like 9,000 people inside of it. And he has personally taken it upon himself to start making content on several different platforms, including Twitch. So I'm always rooting for his success both in and outside of this game.
That's an amazing thing. It's not easy to do, Coney. I'm sure you know it as well. Keep it up with Twitch, YouTube, and all those good things. Right now, though, on the commentating side, you still got work to do as the game looks to be ready as we head into the first part of our upper side of the bracket, which means these teams are safe. They're ready to go, and all they've got to do is keep on winning. They will find themselves in the money and in those grand finals. But still, Coney, a lot of work to do.
Yeah, no question. I mean, I think I'm going to have my eyes glued onto Mirrorman. Kosalix doing a great job on the Joker. No disrespect, of course. Obviously got top 8 at EVO, but I think Mirrorman is kind of on point with Bugs. Bugs is so evasive, so strong. He kind of just runs in there, does whatever he wants, and usually can get back out. We're going to see if Pred and K7 find a way to sort of lock him down. The thing is, Batman does have a lot of sort of meaty, long-lasting hitboxes. Like you see that Fair coming out. That just lasts a long time. Bugs can just run right into it if he hasn't got like a Fair prepped.
I also really I like the fact that they went over to Sky Arena, no platforms here. I think that that's a really, really strong opportunity for Batman because Batman kind of excels where there's no platforms, where there's just raw land. Wonder Woman, very much so the same. I would be interested in knowing if Mirrorman and Kosalix possibly lose this, if they actually counterpick to a stage with platforms to give them more movement. But what do I know? Look at that very first knockout already coming out in the benefit for Mirrorman and Kosalix. They probably won't have to stage pick if they keep that up.
It's really just the power of reversals. You see that happen all the time. I think K7 just kind of overshot on that, going for the KO off the top with that up special, and you saw Bugs just answering with the reversal. That happens so often in this game with how hyper mobile so many of these characters are. It's so difficult to really get that KO on one person if they're slippery without the other guy coming up behind you and just slamming you into the blast zone. Well done there by Mirrorman, but he did lose that stock as well. It's 1-1 now.
I'm really appreciating Kosalix using, ultimately really good knockout there on Kosalix, but I'm really appreciating Kosalix using a lot of Joker's multi-hitting moves to go ahead and kind of grab them into this vortex that then Mirror Man is able to go ahead and like use these rocket projectiles, use these safe setups to go ahead and drag both of the red team off of the stage and set up these knockout situations.
See Mirror Man trying to get that safe KO. Not gonna land. Tried to go for the up air before.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can see trying to reverse it again. Try to hit Batman. Doesn't happen. But actually, K7 going off on the side. 2 stocks apiece. And there goes Bugs Bunny. And if they could get rid of Wonder Woman, it's going to be back up to even. It's now up to Pred to try to stay safe. You can see him jumping around with that side air. Just trying to put out a hitbox as much as possible.
Yeah, just one good schmack on Wonder Woman will secure that for them. Ooh, this is dangerous. Really, really nice finisher there by Pred. K7 and Pred putting themselves up inside this first to 2, 1-0 as of right now. Really good show. I think honestly, Pred has really been fantastic on Wonder Woman. I did not choose this team as my favorite very lightly here.
Yeah, no question. Very well done.
I mean, just coming back to it as well, watching, like, I love the moment where I think Wonder Woman was at 130. She was definitely in KO range easy, but still chooses to get aggressive with K7, and that ends up opening up so many more options. Coney, it's so easy at those moments where you go, we're stock down. If they kill him, then it's a 2v1 onto K7. Let me just play back. I love the decision of the confidence to say, no, let's just be aggressive. This isn't what they're planning, but this is our strength as a team.
I think if you stay close to the ground, it's not so bad. If you look at all 4 characters on screen, you got Bugs, Wonder Woman, Batman, and Joker. All of them kill off the top. I mean, you got Wonder Woman with the side B, right? She has that punch. But generally speaking, if we're all in the middle, you're kind of safe. And I think that's what you saw Pred really prioritizing is, all right, let me get back to the ground. Let me side B onto the ground. Let me make sure that I'm not getting hit by this up air. I think that was the right choice. And that's why they were able to get the win. Meanwhile, on the other side, we can see Void actually up 1-0 on Team Mango as we're going to this stage, which we affectionately dub kind of fake PS2. We have a stage in Smash that looks a lot like this that we're kind of used to. So I'm not surprised that we're going here. Smash players love this stage.
Yeah, so earlier inside of this round start here, we actually saw Void kind of showcasing IADs. Inside of fighting games, IADs mean instant air dashes. Inside of this game, they actually mean instant aerial dodge, which is kind of the tech that Void alluded to earlier. The ability to actually cancel into your neutral dodge or your movement, basically dodge, and use an aerial attack because it actually counts as a jump. It's really, really good. We're kind of seeing him use it here to use a lot of these combos very close to the ground when normally you would have to be higher up inside of the area. And against a Wonder Woman or somebody like that, you don't want to be in the air against a Wonder Woman for sure.
Huge KO there from Mango.
Yeah.
You can see him off on the side with that side special.
Can he recover back? Let's see.
Try to make it back. You can see Ross getting that up special,
safe.
able to find his way back. Huge hit there from Void, but not quite enough to land a KO, and you can see Lucky just staying alive. Oh, just barely with the KO.
Really, really good play there, ultimately, by Mango and Lucky, keeping them nice and safe. And Banana Guard's one of those characters, the minute you get back to a stage, especially here where you just have a relatively flat stage like that, you're good. Doesn't matter, though. Void moving up 2-0 inside of this bracket, staying on upper side, sending Mango and Lucky down to lower.
You can see we're going to swap over to the other side. We got Mirror Man and Cosmos once again against Pred and K7. Oh my goodness, this might be a 4-stock though. Pred and K7 just dominating this game. Not sure exactly what happened, but that's going to do it. Yeah, red team coming out huge. Kozlik shaking his head.
I'll be honest with you, based off everything I saw in that very first match, Mirror Man and Kozlik definitely kind of lost what I like to call the psychic game. That was a heavy loss, to be honest, both times. Both times were so incredibly close. We watched it, Coney. It went down to ring out. Like, and when you do that multiple times over with $5,000 on the line, enough to literally rent one table in a McDonald's in San Francisco downtown. You have to really fight to stay in it. You know what I mean, Rain?
I mean, all I know is I'm never going to San Francisco, and I'm born and raised in LA. I don't need to go there anymore. And no shout out to EA, which is up there. But you know, I think this has been so fun to watch. For me, I'm looking at two different teams that have such strong synergy. Void with Jerry and Ross Banana Guard, and then you're looking at Pred and you know, K7, and I'm just, the way that Batman is synergizing with the Wonder Woman, it's really looking like these are obviously the two top performing teams right now. They will be in your winners finals, but of course one of them will drop down into the lower, have a chance to get back on the lower side in the grand finals. But you know, Coney, for me, that's who stood out. I think it's pretty obvious, but what else have you noticed here as we finished off with our semifinals on the upper side?
I think it's impressive how much Void is sort of navigating this new game. I mean, it's brand new. It does have some similarities with the last one, but I think a character like Tom kind of is a little different. I don't know if the projectiles are better or worse. I mean, the game state is slower, so it feels like it would be better, but Tom himself can't move around as much. I think it's impressive that Void is able to pick up this new sort of environment and be able to thrive. And I think I could definitely see what he was talking about the horizontal sort of nature of the way that the guys are playing. Because Ross on Banana Guard, there's so much gameplay happening on the sides that the reversals are left to right, not up or down. And I'm interested how that's going to interact with Pred and K7, which is the opposite. Batman and Wonder Woman very often killing off the top with their up special.
Yes.
It's going to be the X-axis versus the Y-axis here.
I love that, Sharpie. I mean, that's sometimes what determines a meta, right? I mean, after tournaments like this, people kind of see what wins out of the two styles, and they say, all right, we're going to practice this and double down. I mean, this is actually a great showcase for people who want to know maybe where the direction, at least the first couple of weeks of competitive multiverses is going.
I'm actually really happy you brought that up, Rain, because I'm going to take this opportunity to disagree with you. Please don't hate me, but I think it's really important to remember that this is the highest echelon of players. For standard players like myself and Coney, who are both very, very, very bad at this game.
You throwing Coney in there? Oh,
come on.
You saw him play yesterday.
I mean,
you saw him play yesterday.
Okay, first off, my teammate was French. Let's make that clear. I had a French teammate. The sun was in my eyes. I didn't get Velma, and I had a tummy ache.
Wow.
But I think it's important. I think it's important to remember that overall, for a majority of players, like I would even argue 85% of people that pick up this game, the results at a high level are not going to matter and not going to impact you. It's going to show you how these players' options are used by certain players who want to beat certain other things. But the thing I always tell people at high levels is play against the player. Don't play against the character. Play against the player, because they're going to have tendencies that they're going to repeat across characters. You beat that tendency, you win the game.
Well, you know, I'll just say that it's actually some pretty accurate advice, though many of us do not want the realization to hit home that we are not of this echelon of players that we're watching on Twitch every single day. You know, I think coming from a game like Apex, it's very easy to see something and then you go in and you just die instantly, and you're like, what's the difference? I got the same character in it. You know, what's going on? Must be lag. Anyways, you know, I think as we head into the lower side, I think now let's start talking about some of those teams, because you got Cosmos, you got Real Broskies, who you've been talking about, Bugsy's down there, as well as Palm and Hank, who did really, really well. Sharpie, I'll take it off to you to kind of give us the overview as we jump into this game. We're going to start seeing the action here. It's do or die right now.
Very first match is going to be Cosmo versus Sandstorm. Cosmo and Sandstorm versus Broski and Oopster. Coney, is this the team that you were expecting from Oopster and Broskies here?
Well, I mean, I didn't know who Broskies was going to play. I knew it wouldn't be Velma. I mean, like we were talking about before, but I hadn't really seen Black Adam. I mean, I kind of stopped playing the beta right around when Rick came out, so there were a few characters that I missed, including Stripe and Black Adam. Apparently, Black Adam wasn't much to write home about before, but with the new engine changes, he's apparently gotten much stronger. We'd see Broskies really putting a lot on here. However, the Harley Hammer coming out huge there. That's going to be 2-0 for the blue team. And I just wonder how well Superman can do in this kind of meta, because I did see that people were saying he is a little bit worse just because of how slow how much slower the game is now. Maybe he's not quite as mobile. Huge upstrung there, and you could see that getting the KO at 70.
You know, I actually would have assumed that Cosmo and Sandstorm would be at more of an advantage inside of this match, and we're seeing kind of the momentum move back over to Broski and Oopster's tie. But Trophy's Edge, like I've said several hundred times over, has such a low ceiling that it really does benefit characters like Wonder Woman, like Harley, who are able to move and navigate up into that blast zone. But what I'm seeing is Superman's kind of staying grounded for the most part. We're not really seeing Superman fly like a bird here.
Yeah, I feel like he's just trying to utilize that armor as much as possible. I think he realizes that he can't contest Wonder Woman and Harley in the air. Trying to stay alive as long as possible. 154, very dangerous spot. Wonder if he's going to try to get to that platform. However, he is burnt out. He has no dodges. If the blue team realizes, they should be able to just wipe him out. And there it is. Harley Hammer coming out again. Well done to Cosmos being able to get that KO.
I'm actually really happy that you brought up the dodge meter there, Coney, because that is an instrumental mechanic inside of this game. Everything goes off your dodge meter now inside of the game. Previously inside of the game, dodge meter kind of went up like candy. You got it for literally no reason. And in this game, it's a lot more important because if you lose your dodge meter, you are a sitting duck now. You have no recovery options. You have nothing really. And even if you happen to have a shield, there's a lot of anti-shield tech inside of this game that can break through your armor. So very precarious point to bring out. Really good call out there by Cosmo and Sandstorm to recognize the burnout situation and move them forward. Rain, did you enjoy that game?
I did, and you know, I like to see Harley back in the mix. It was such a huge setup yesterday with Hustle and showing just the value that Harley can bring going up and up and up with that bat. And continually pressure seemed to be the thing. And the Superman pick with the Black Adam, I don't know. I mean, Coney, what do you think? Is this the time to swap? They swapped once to it to start. Do you swap back now that you're facing a potential elimination, or you just stick with your guns and try to get the pacing right and the spacing right against Harley and Wonder Woman?
I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I just feel like the mobility's too low. I think with Superman and Black Adam, they're just two big characters. Can't really move around as much. Black Adam does have kind of mobility, but it's more tied to his moves. Like, he has a side special which like warps him to the side, but it's very easy to kind of stuff out. Again, not to put too fine a point on it, but I wonder if Broski's is like, all right, what's the character now? I'm not sure what the answer is, because I just feel like you got two huge targets in Superman and Black Adam, and they're just kind of getting danced on by Harley and Wonder Woman, two smaller characters, faster characters, and apparently are just able to capitalize way more on the situations.
If I can interject here for a moment, I actually think that Broski had a winning team inside of round one on upper side of the bracket. I actually think Steven and Superman is a very strong team, and it was just a very bad matchup for them. I actually think that Steven and Superman would win this for them, specifically because one of the issues we're seeing here is ultimately they're getting smacked around with next to no armor. They're not going after Superman first. They're going after Broski's character. Getting a little bit more armor and getting a little bit more tank inside of Steven with a lot more support options, basically a bomb that allows you, putting out vegan Steven that becomes now a third character inside of the game. Like, I think that mentality goes really, really far. And I'm not just saying this as a former Crystal Gem player.
Yeah, it does seem like a roster swap might pay dividends right now, but it's always a tricky thing as a competitor. And I'm sure we've all been in situations like this, whether in our own games, whether competing in tournaments. You know, you have to then look at, am I second guessing myself? Because maybe I just played. I mean, sometimes it's execution. At the end of the day, you know, in FPS or BRs, whatever it is, it's like sometimes you just miss your shots. You know, it's not about you should have had a different macro. And the same thing here. So they go back to it, Coney, and they're going to risk it all on the Superman and the Black Adam.
You know, it's so funny that you say that, because you're absolutely right. And I know you come from the Apex background, and I know it's like, it doesn't always come down to the champion that you're picking, the legend that you're picking. Sometimes it just really comes down to, hey, I lost that fight. And it doesn't matter about the team or the, sort of the layout or even the stage. It's just, hey, I picked the wrong thing. We're going to see if that plays out here. You could see them playing way closer to each other. Look at how Red Team just kind of standing next to each other. I feel like that's the best thing for them, both inside that zone here You can see 2 1v1s breaking out. And this is what it comes down to. Are you going to win that 1v1? Seems like red team is coming out ahead now. But Oops here putting himself in a bad spot. And again, he's almost in burnout. I thought he was out, but not quite.
Yeah, this is almost exactly what we saw inside of the previous round. Oh, but we didn't see that ring knockout. It's still very, very even. We're looking at very high percentages here. Yeah, that up air by Harley is going to go ahead and secure it. And one smack on that Black Adam will as well. If he can recover, let's see. Yeah, it's just so hard. This is kind of why I was talking before about the armor. Like, you look at a character like Wonder Woman, you look at a character like Harley, they don't have multi-hitting moves past that armor. And unless they have that armor-breaking perk, you really don't have to worry about them for a little bit of time. Oh, go on.
I was just going to say, especially if you stand next to each other. I mean, if Superman could be covered, if he pops that up strong, and he's able to just sort of sit there with the armor, and Black Adam has the threat behind him, it's just a very scary spot to be in. You can see that up special popping, however, getting stuffed out by Wonder Woman. We're going to double team Black Adam. There's that disadvantage that Void was talking about, though. Black Adam with the up special, able to fly away.
And Wonder Woman does have max shout right there. We could look at a really long hit stun confirm from that, unless she gets rung out here, in which case they don't have to necessarily worry about it anymore and it will reset. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. They're going on the offense. They have that shield up right now at 75 and 87%. Wonder Woman getting back into the fray. They're kind of feeling out center mass, trying to keep them off the stage right now. Black Adam does recover, is now at 124, puts up the projectile cover, and that ultimately is going to kill Superman, who was separated long enough for Wonder Woman to come through and secure that knockout. We now move over to Bugsy and Key Wonder versus Hanky and Palm.
And there actually is something from that last match that I want to bring up after this one's over. It looks like it's over now. There we go. Palm and Hanky taking a game off Bugsy and Key Wonder. Wonder if that was the game or the set, because I feel like we were a little late in. But one of the points I wanted to bring up, Rain Day, that you brought up, is that you were talking about hitting your shots and making sure you land your stuff. There was a moment there, and I don't know if you guys saw it, where Broski's tried to follow up on a Superman. It was the side special where he sort of drags you and then does the punch.
Yep.
Black Adam has a forward air, which will hit once horizontally, and then he goes, and he hits you off the top. If he had landed that hit, if Broski's had landed that hit, it would have knocked out Harley at 80, 90, maybe even 70, but he missed it. And maybe that's unfamiliarity. Maybe it's just nerves, lack of execution, but it cost them potentially that game and the set, as they're out of the tournament now.
Yeah, I mean, to me, watching that as well, and I'm sure, chat, you got your opinions. I mean, overall, both great competitors, but it ended up going the way against Superman and Black Adam so consistently. But it felt like they just gave themselves that team composition with Harley and Wonder Woman, the pressure, the percentage they could pile on so quickly. Felt like Supes and Black Adam just had to kind of be pitch perfect on those knockouts. Otherwise, they were going to run away with it. And you could see keeping it in, missing one of those opportunities, Sharpie. It did not give them a chance to come back and regain the momentum that they might have had. So it was an unfortunate run. That will be the end for them. And it's one of our first teams who will be out of today's tournament. But in the same way, we see teams advance and we set up more and more as we run deeper into the lowers.
I'm really excited for this very next lowers match, which is going to be Team Bugsy versus Team Hank and Palm. Here, Palm, once again, qualifying from day one. And we saw them take that one round. Once again, we unfortunately are unsure here on the commentator side if that is the final round of the set or if that was just the first round. But so far, it looks like Bugsy and Key Wonder are really struggling here. And an important thing to notice, like, once again, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but Bugsy is renowned for developing a lot of the Harley techniques that exist today inside of this game. It doesn't appear as though he has had such luck as of right now with finding a home, and I think that's the consistency that we're seeing on the lower side of this bracket. A lot of people who played inside of beta that just are kind of struggling to find their new sauce, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think with the characters sort of being changed, there are some safe bets. I think Wonder Woman is always going to be safe. Same with Harley, same with Bugs, but some characters did get quite a significant rework. Obviously, we talked about Velma. Morty just not really working that well with the new system changes. Meanwhile, you've got characters like Taz, who I think benefited a lot, actually. Don't know how much we're going to see of him because he does kind of struggle at top-level play. But right now, we got Harley and Wonder Woman again against Hank and Palm. You can see Shaggy getting that buff on the side. He's going to threaten that kick. Doesn't let it pop because he knows he can be punished. Finally letting it go with great timing.
Now, I really want to see Harley go up there and punish it. Wasn't able to get up there high enough. And those weekend stacks on her made it so that they could get the very first knack out there. They are going to go ahead and double it up right there. I actually think that's a really good trade. I think that was a really smart trade. And I do appreciate the way that Bugsies is starting to really challenge these installs from Hank here. Now, this is what I mean with sometimes familiarity is just better overall than trying out the newest sauce. You can tell that Bugsy feels comfortable kind of testing out some of the limits here on Harley, not quite hitting every single bat that they want to hit inside that air, but they're not letting Hank install for free, and that's key right now. That's what's going to move them forward inside this match, and that's ultimately why they already have these 2 ring outs. Challenging every single install, making sure that Joker isn't able to make any extra space for this Shaggy to install is going to win them the match.
It's really Harley's mobility that's able to do that. You can see the bomb right now, the bat bomb on Wonder Woman's leg, trying to find the right time to pop it. Does do it, but unfortunately it is contested with that dash attack, going to knock out Wonder Woman. You see the install on Shaggy. Oh, and he's able to pop it, and it goes way faster. You can see it.
Nice!
Huge hammer there, and now Shaggy in a dangerous spot.
Let's go, Bugsy!
Harley
Let's go,
getting
baby!
the kill.
Let's go! Nah, that's how we do it. That's how we do it, Mount Olympus, honey. We out here taking down gods. I'm sorry. I am incredibly biased.
Production's going. I didn't remember you hitting that on your audio test for how loud you're going to go for the mic, Sharpie. But I think you know what it is. Bugsy just got her hype. I mean, that was big. And I'm starting to love this Harley Wonder Woman combination, Sharp. You were hype about it. Talk to me about it. What are you loving? What's working for this team now to tie it up 1-1?
The biggest thing, truthfully, is just the armor. Previously inside of the upper side of the bracket, we saw the Gizmo and Wonder Woman. Key Wonder is a fantastic Wonder Woman, but Key Wonder does need an active teammate, and Gizmo is not active. I think Harley being able to swing in there and just kind of like move, Key Wonder knows that matchup. He has labbed and played with Bugsy since this game was first created inside of Alpha. So he knows exactly what Bugsy's looking for, and he knows how to capitalize off those situations. So I really think it ultimately comes down to is the fact that Bugsy was a lot more active inside this game, was on a character that he knew very, very well. And ultimately, I think it's just a familiarity matchup. I think it's just a knowledge check. And like a lot of respect for Hank and Palm, but Bugsy got top 8 at EVO. That's who this team is going up against. That's who you're playing against. And, you know, a lot of gumption can't defeat EVO champions.
Yeah, well, Hank and Pop doing a great job of it. I mean, staying close. It's 1-1. This does determine whether these teams go home or they continue on into the lower side. They've already lost once, but now it is truly to see if they can put their money where their mouth is. It's the go-ahead game.
Yeah. Let's see that adaptation that we saw a lot of yesterday. Hank and Palm are definitely the people that can move forward if they adapt the exact same way we saw yesterday. So going into this, we do see Batcave already. Smart pick here, Coney. What do you think?
I think it's way smaller, so I feel like it might hurt Shaggy a bit because, especially with the cars gone, I'm not sure if that's going to be the right pick. Both of them out. You can see them. Look at how they're patrolling center, staying in the bat signal, just not really giving up the ground or the sides.
Yeah. And they removed that hazard, that bat car really early, which secured them the first 2 knockout opportunities just right over the right side. You know, you're looking at Harley right now, and what's really crazy is they've all, wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Good heavens. Okay, well.
Oh
Bugsy said business as usual, honey.
Oh
Let's
my.
go. Okay.
All right, well, you know, maybe they won the amateur bracket, you know, now they're in the pro bracket. They got the game, right? You know, congrats, but yeesh, what a blow up.
So, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know I kind of commentator cursed it a little bit, and like Rain, I know you were trying to root for Hank and Palm, but I saw something in Bugsy's play previously, and something inside of me said, this man is not going down without a fight. And then they picked Batcave, the cave that literally only one team comes out alive on all blast zones from. That's why I went in there saying, I don't know if they have the gumption, but I'm praying for them.
Not enough gumption. Not enough gumption, that's for sure. You know, Coney, what was it about that stage, just quickly? Was it the fact that, you know, Shaggy not able to charge up, not enough space to really do it, and just couldn't find time to really have an impact before Harley and Wonder Woman could capitalize on it?
There's very little ground. Like, once you get rid of the cars, there's just not a lot of ground. There's nowhere to run because, like, you know, I used to do it a lot in the beta, where if you can pick a character that can sort of assault from long range, like with a lot of projectiles, you can kind of sit on top of the cars, do fine. All 4 of those characters, pretty melee focused. Obviously Joker maybe the least, but all 4 of them do have to scrap. And when you're on Batcave stages like this, that's as far as you could go. I mean, you're gonna have a straight up fight, and it felt like Bugs V's team was just better at it, just ready for that situation.
Love to see it. Well, we've got our second round coming up very soon. We've also got our winter finals set up. It's all coming up soon. However, chat, Guessing with Duncan is finished for today. Check out the Duncan leaderboard to see your placement. A friendly Twitch staff will reach out to confirm prizes for the top 10 scorers. Come back for the next Twitch Rivals for your chance to play and win. And chat, Sparked Energy by Duncan is for gamers. When you're hard stuck in bronze or feel like you're throwing, change up your game with a little bit of energy and a whole lot of flavor. Grab a Berry Burst or Peach Sunshine Sparked Energy to get the vitamins, minerals, and caffeine you need to lock in and get the win. Try Sparked Energy by Duncan today. All right, guys, as we have gone through our losers bracket and we have seen so much of our winners set up for our finals, it is time to take a quick break. Grab some Sparked, grab a little bit of some water or some food, and when we come back, Multiversus Clash continues here at Twitch Rivals. Welcome back to our Multiversus Clash with GSM Void and Coney headlining it to help us get to day 2. Void was on the mic with us yesterday. He's playing. Now we've got Coney joining with us alongside the Purple Sharpie, me as your host, Rain Day, and all of our lovely chat in the mix, ready to go to keep watching this Multiversus action. It's just been 2 days, less than 2 days basically since launch. It feels like We've seen so much multiverses, but it's well received, Coney, because it's been a long wait. But this new game, Unreal Engine 5, coming back and just being exactly what the fandom wanted at the right time.
A lot of people very excited to see it come back, get their hands on their favorite characters, and try out the new stuff. I know a lot of people are responding positively to Joker, Jason, all kinds of great stuff coming out about those characters. Even Banana Guard, who I think some people were initially kind of skeptical about. People were like, oh, he's good and fun. And, we got Agent Smith on the horizon along with some other surprises. So can't wait to see what Multiverses has in store.
Well, let's check out the bracket for those just joining us and see how things have developed after our first couple of rounds. We're in our third round here of play. And for the upper side, that means the winners finals. This is the undefeated team so far. That will change after Legendary Pred and K7 alongside GS and Void and Ross go toe-to-toe to see who will make it into the grand finals. And this is looking like it's going to be an epic matchup. Sharpie, Void, he knew a lot about the game coming into it yesterday. He's an EVO champion. He looks like he is in form today as well.
So I think something really important to remember going into this very next match is that Pred plays Wonder Woman, K7 plays Batman, Void is going to be running that Tom and Jerry, and of course, there's going to be a Banana Guard there. We have a crazy horizontal team on that, but let's go ahead and take a look at our lower quarterfinals there. This is still going to be a first of two, otherwise known as a best of three. We still have Mango and Lucky inside of this game. We've got Cosmo and Sandstorm, and we also have Mirror Man and Kozilek versus Bugsy and Key Wonder, who we just saw come out of the Batcave victorious.
All right, well, Coney, you've seen these brackets. I want you to walk us through it because we're going to watch now our winners. In fact, no more walking through it. Talk us through it as the game is ready. Let's go. Let's get into that upper bracket. Actually, this is our lower bracket, so let's get into that and see who can stay alive.
Absolutely. We got Mango's team up against Cosmos, two Smash veterans. Cosmos, kind of the new gen, came around in Smash 4, and now we see how he's going to do against Mango, who's been around forever. Meanwhile, Sandstorm, the Brawlhalla Wonder, going to be doing what he can on Wonder Woman. We're here on this stage. We got 1 point for the red team, 2 points for the red team, but a huge KO there from Lucky, trying to get that. Oh my goodness, and I love the sleight of hand there, doing the bazooka, trying to show off, hey, look at the Joker here, and then you can see Banana Guard coming in for the KO.
Now, this is just how powerful a Wonder Woman and Harley team is. You can see as soon as they get into the fray, we see that shield come out, we see the armor come out, and we immediately see them go into there. Those weakened stacks, gotta be careful, gotta be wary of them. And Mango is sitting at 100 right now. We have Lucky as well at 120, and they're both very precarious. That's one ring out right now, standing between them. Mango and Lucky are lost for this very first match. Cosmo and Sandstorm actively get it 1-0. Still one more match between them and moving forward on this lower side of the bracket.
It's just another reversal. It was another situation where somebody went a little bit too hard for a kill because they knew that they were desperate, and then they just lost the stock off. It happens a lot.
Yeah. Very, very common. We're now watching Pred and K7 versus Void and Ross over on the upper side of bracket. As a reminder, this is a first of three, otherwise known as a best of five. And this is kind of what I was talking about before. They went to a stage that is very, very horizontally friendly. Nothing to worry about, no platforms or anything like that. Just simply, I smack you, you go left or right, maybe you go up, but very frequently you're going left and right, and that's it. And I know that both teams were happy with Sky Arena, no platforms this time around.
I mean, the Batman and Wonder Woman KOing off the top primarily, and the ceiling pretty low here. So gonna see if Batman is able to carry Tom all the way to the top. Surprised that didn't go a little bit further with Tom at 70%. Got a big fight off on the right-hand side, but we're all going to spread out. You can see just how clumped together a lot of the teams are right now in Multiverses. I feel like I'm seeing this a lot more in the current state of the game. It felt like in the old game, the character models were a little bit smaller, felt like they were a little bit more evasive. Now, you just see teams kind of ball up and just put this mess of hitboxes on top of each other. Batman trying to evade the kill here, doing a great job so far. K7 just deftly just weaving all over the place.
Ooh, Follow him,
No
baby. Follow
way!
him. Let's go! Let's play some baseball, baby! Let's show him how it's done. That was clean. That was clean, Coney. I'm sorry, that was hype.
You can see at 123 now. Banana Guard and Batman are the two characters to watch. You can see K7 sitting in the back. That does mean that Pred is going to take a lot of damage, though.
I don't know if K7 and Pred can meet up against Jerry setting up this type of pressure, but they somehow get in. They somehow get in at a full. Ooh, that's really, really nice. That's really, really, really smart use of that shout right there. Can she knock them out? Ooh, Banana Guard getting the not enough. Not enough.
Yeah,
not enough.
look at all the damage that Pred just took, 145. Meanwhile, Void is the X factor because everybody else at over 100. Gonna see who loses their stock first. Batman getting the grappling hook. That could have been a death sentence. That move is very strong. However, it does put you in a very uncomfortable spot once you do grapple in. But eventually, they're able to find that win. Meanwhile, on the other side, we got 2 points for the blue team. That is Sandstorm, and Cosmo is trying to take one more game here.
Yeah, and I'm really appreciating a lot of the tech that we're seeing. We'll talk about it in the very next match. But getting into this one, of course, we do already see a pretty even match. It looks like Mango's at a pretty high percentage, but as we saw inside the previous game, Banana Guard at a high percentage isn't the worst thing in the world. He has enough tools to kind of make you very wary about approaching, and unless they specifically have Joker out of the mix, they can't get in. Now they can, though. Unfortunately, missing on that up special, not quite able to hit it there. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Are you going to be able to get in and ultimately get any of them? They're both at really high percentages. They just have to pick and choose, but it's just so dangerous when they're on the ground. Beautiful right now. Now, if they just pick out lucky, really nice and clean. Cosmo and Sandstorm staying inside of this bracket, ultimately going down to lower finals, moving up 2-0. And we look at our very final lowers match right now. Mirror Man and Costlix versus Bugsy and Key Wonder, who are both up 1-0 right now over Mirror Man and Cosmolix. Really, really smart. And we do see that Gizmo and Wonder Woman pick again. You know, I know, Coney, that you're a Gizmo player. Talk to me.
Yeah, I'm surprised we're actually swapping back over. Feels like they won that first game. Maybe it was on Gizmo. Didn't get a chance to see it, but I think this character has so much potential, especially when paired with someone like Wonder Woman. I don't know if that's a beta change or what. I think he tried to land on the rocket there, and I don't know if you can still stand on it as a character. Maybe I'm making that up. But I feel like you used to be able to stand on the rocket as an enemy character, and it felt like Gizmo just kind of exploded touching it before. It might be Mandela affecting myself, I'm not sure. But you can see Mirror Man with all these hits, all this damage at 103 now off the top, able to survive though.
Ooh, okay. I'm really appreciating the way that Key Wonder's kind of moving, keeping Gizmo safe this run. I can see Gizmo being significantly more active this time around. Now, that Whisper is important, especially on Bugs, because if they get those total stacks, that does silence Bugs, who is a mage, from using any and all of his spells, which is paramount for a mage character like Bugs.
See right now, Gizmo coming back at 0. I think that was Mirror Man off on the side as well. Yeah, we got 3 stocks on blue. All they have to do is wipe out that Wonder Woman. Key Wonder in a very precarious spot right now, trying to stay away from Bugs. Can't be in the air at all either, because that baseball bat will come out. You got to watch Joker too, because he does have that sneaky card. Have to keep your eye on him at all times.
I do appreciate Gizmo getting into the fray a lot more here, being a lot more active, like I said previously, but just kind of playing, you know, stock tank right now for the Wonder Woman, getting in, doing some DPS, so hopefully they can get a really nice, easy knockout situation very soon.
Oh, geez, Gizmo
doesn't look like the case. Yeah.
See, that's the issue. Gizmo, he can't really play point. He doesn't have the range, he doesn't have the mobility, and he's so light, he just kind of falls off at 80%. You saw it right there with the safe.
Okay, so we're still looking at uppers finals, and once again, this is a 1st to 3, not a 1st to 2 on this side. Void and Ross already up 1-0 from the previous set. Pred and K7 still running a little bit behind right now, but ultimately, if they get a touch on Void, it could be a knockout. Let's see, as they move off the stage, we see K7 not able to recover back on, does get knocked out, and now it looks like Wonder Woman ultimately suffers the same fate. She was at 137, that's a tough place to be.
That's just great edge guarding from the blue team there. You saw Void and Ross willing to go out there, Void with the Jerry, and Ross with that spear on Banana Guard. It's 2-2 right now. You can see Ross trying to sit back a little bit, let Void do his thing, and it's crazy how Tom can keep both people in hit stun pretty effortlessly. All he kind of has to do is sit around hitting that paddle ball, and it's kind of hard to contest for a lot of characters.
I think it's really nice the way that the Nana Guard is trying to use that horizontal pressure. Ultimately gets off the stage, but I do think for the record, it was really, really nice the way that Ross is using that horizontal pressure to kind of edge guard them from approaching and letting Void go ahead and set up a lot of these like projectile games. Like it's really, really advantageous for blue team here. Ooh, okay. High percentage. Is Wonder Woman out?
Ooh,
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can just kind of throw that out on Banana Guard, especially at that high percent. It is such a powerful move, especially if you're buffed up. Can really catch people off guard. Meanwhile, on the other side, we got 1-1 right now between Mirrorman and Kozilix and Bugsv and Key Wonder. And keep in mind, this is a best of 3. This is not a best of 5 like on the winner's side. So the winner of this match will be advancing on in the lower bracket. See how the Gizmo does. He's got the car out.
I'm already appreciating this round start a lot more than I was the previous one, whereas Gizmo was kind of being a little bit more passive, just immediately linking up and playing that key on Wonder Woman. He chose to take a much more advantageous side, and because of that, they were able to get the early momentum. Doesn't ultimately look like they were able to maintain it, unfortunately. I do think them linking up after they got that early momentum to kind of secure the middle of the stage, which is so incredibly important, as you know, on a exclusive no platform stage. But does look like the very first ring out is going to go over to Kozilix and Mirrorman's team. And they're 3 ring outs away now from moving forward inside this loser's bracket.
You've got 2 people at over 100%. Bugs Bunny nearly there at 84, but actually getting a lot of damage off on Gizmo. And you can see how Bugs trying to go under the stage, just create a little pathway for Joker. And you see Kozilix using it effortlessly, just able to pop down there when he's at 126 and get out of danger. Bugs' utility is just why he's such a strong character.
Your team
You
stop.
can see him just moving all over the map.
Yeah, but not able to secure these knockouts on Joker. And I think that really goes back to what you were saying before. He is definitely a very good support, but ultimately when you're a really good support, sometimes you lose kill potential. Do you feel like that's the situation with Gizmo in general?
Yeah, Gizmo's not going to be killing anybody. He has to get an umbrella or an up B, or I'm sorry, an up special. It's not easy to do. There are ways you could just kind of throw it out, but the higher the competition gets and the better the opponents are, the harder it is to finally get that KO. And you can see right now, Joker actually losing his stock at 232 damage. That is way too high.
Now, this is a really precarious situation for Red Team right now. They're both in really easy ring out positions right now, and they're separated, which is not what you want to be. Even though we had that earlier silence on Joker, it's gone now. That debuff doesn't exist. It's really a dangerous game right now. If you can maintain it, Bugsy, not quite. Not quite. Wonder Woman does recover. It's not over yet, but they are actively trying to get that Joker out of here. Key Wonder doing everything, praying to every single Amazonian god right now to stay alive as they can. And Bugsy just trying to cover in the fray, get that percentage back up like we saw inside the previous set.
See Key Wonder just sitting all the way in the back. Key Wonder on point, but the problem is Gizmo can't die to a strong breeze, honestly. If just one thing is a surprise. You can see Bugs Bunny coming out of the ground, and I think it was the hit flag. After hitting Gizmo, it actually, the hitbox stayed out long enough to hit Wonder Woman as well. Just a very fortunate situation for the blue team, and they're going to come out ahead. Well done there to Mirrorman. Meanwhile, we're going to switch over to the other side. Void and Ross's team up 2-0. We're at the Batcave. It's time to scrap.
I cannot believe they allowed Batcave through. Every single time I see it on a possible like set winning moment, I'm like, y'all chose this? Y'all chose this?
It's a very polarizing stage, to be sure. It feels like there are a lot less neutral interactions just because it does feel a little bit smaller than everything else. You can see Ross here covering so much ground with that. We're going to the top. Can't quite get the KO, but he is going to get the up air. You can see Pred actually just escaping off to the side using that armor. Meanwhile, K7 able to track Void down, get the KO himself.
Ooh, okay. Now, this is what I wanted to kind of talk about later, but something you're seeing Ross do here is actually new tech that was added inside this game with the addition of kind of like the active parry / dodges. He's actually using that IAD feature that I talked about before to kind of use a much easier that poke right there, a lot closer. He's been doing that incredibly close to the ground, which makes it really, really hard for them to recover. And that has been responsible for 95% of the knockout opportunities that they've received inside of previous sets.
I love the way.
It's
Yeah,
really nasty.
I was just gonna say I love the way that Void is using his. He actually did something there that was a very small thing. By the way, 3-0 for Void and Ross, looking great. One very small thing that Void did there that you might not be able to notice unless you're specifically looking for it. We saw, I believe it was Pred on Wonder Woman charging at that Wonder Woman shout, where it's that kind of circle that grows around her over time. Void actually used Tom's stall. He used the rocket move, which stalls him in the air just for a second to make sure he didn't fall into it. He didn't waste a dodge, because if he uses a dodge and then he goes too high, he can't punish it. By using the rocket, stalling himself in the air, and then falling, he was actually able to get around, able to punish it. That was just masterful play. Very well done.
An incredible showcase. I mean, you guys said it all right there. We just saw such high-level multiverses action, and there's still more underway. Void and Ross with the Banana Guard and the Tom and Jerry take a 3-0 lead to put them in the grand finals. Who from our lower bracket will find their way back to challenge them? We'll find out right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Rain Day here, hosting our Void and Coney Multiverses Clash alongside Void and a Purple Sharpie. The action has been nonstop today and yesterday as well, as this has been a two-day tournament. We qualified one member, and that was Hank and Palm, into our top 8 today. They unfortunately went out in 8th, but that's no fault of theirs. They played some amazing competition, and the teams that have continued to be dominant have shown up now into our losers round 3 and ultimately our losers finals, which will set up for a game against Void and Ross, who are currently undefeated. Coney, you know, this is a chance to say anything bad about Void that you can, because we know he took shots at you yesterday. However, I will say it's hard with how he's playing right now. He's kind of playing flawless.
No, he's abusing Tom. That's what he's doing. He's abusing Tom. That's all you can really say. The character was busted before, and he's busted again. He's just taking him to the top. I know what he's doing. I know what he's up to, and he knows what he's up to. But, hey, as long as he could get the Twitch Rivals payout, I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's not enough to have his own tournament, right, with you.
Yeah,
he's got to get the payout, too.
He has to play the cheap character with all the projectiles. He knows what he's doing. And his partner's abusing Banana Guard, who is the day one OP, the joke character that's killing everybody at 80. I get it. I'm going to call it like I see it. I'll let you do it, but I know what he's up to.
Coney's the truth teller here, bro.
I'll say it. I'll say it if nobody else will.
I gave him the opportunity to go off. Coney, you did indeed go off, man. I did not disappoint. Guys, game is ready. Losers, they're about to kick off Sharpie. Let's get into it.
Okay, so this is going to be an elimination round for lowers round 3. We have Cosmo and Sandstorm. Pretty standard team right now. That's going to be a Harley and Wonder Woman versus Mirror Man and Costelix, the team that we saw take out Bugsy and Key Wonder just previously.
Yeah.
Any changes so far to the way that you're seeing Mirror Man approach this match right now, Coney?
Not really. He just kind of dances all around with Bugs Bunny. Bugs is so good at being evasive, but he can't get caught out like that. You can see him actually getting killed at 80%, but really anybody can get caught in that spot. Happens quite a bit, especially in multiverses where it feels like the hit stun is kind of crazy at certain points and you just kind of get popped into the air. Not sure what happened to Joker.
So here's what it is. That's a very low floor. I actually believe Joker had already used his recovery far on the right side of the blast zone and no longer had it, and he was out of dodge meter.
Sure.
Personally, that's what I saw. I can go ahead and watch the replay and make triple sure, but that's what I believe happened in that instance. And reminder, this stage does